When I was young, just a few years ago, I studied music at McGill University. I was excellent. I was a piano player, concert pianist, and so on, won all kinds of awards, except when I got to university, so did everyone else. So then something happened, and I recognized I couldn't really do anything except be a music teacher, and that there was no interest in that for me at all. So I got some advice. People said, well, your minor was in creative writing. You're a great writer and very creative. Why don't you go into the field of advertising? Well, I didn't know a lot about advertising. I thought, okay, went back to school, started to learn all kinds of things about advertising, went to all the large advertising agencies in Toronto, and they all said, you're great, you're wonderful, but honestly, you need to go to a smaller center, like Vancouver, because all the smaller agencies out there, well, they'll hire you, they'll train you, they'll coach you, and everything else. So I had spent a couple of years working for CIBC, didn't really care for that, went out to Vancouver. Except, I went to all of these small agencies and they said, you know what? You gotta be in a big city, because after all, it's the large advertising agencies that'll have the opportunities for you, be able to train you and so on, but I'd already just moved to Vancouver. So, I got a job with the Vancouver City Savings Credit Union because, well, I had a finance background, and why not? So they put me into these terrible branches. They gave me power. They said, fire the people. Do whatever's necessary. You got to get these things turned around. But I looked. The people were great, but nobody ever trained them. Nobody ever coached them. The policies, the procedures, the processes, they were dreadful. So I changed all of that, and all of a sudden turned these branches around. And then something wonderful happened. They came and they said, we're going to open a brand new branch. Board of Directors has just approved it. Hasn't been built yet, but we would like you to lead it. And I thought, that's great. So, waiting for that, doing some other things with them, the Board of Directors changed their mind. They decided, though, you're not going to manage this branch, we're not going to open it, but you have done so well with those really problem branches. We think you would be great to start a training and development department. I said, great, but I don't know anything about training and development. They said, well, we watched the work that you did, and we're sure that you could learn all about it. So I went back to school, 3-year business certificate in human resource management, but they had only given me 6 months to make a decision, or they would give me something. Who knows what it would be? But I said, okay. So I went to the school. I had to get special permission to do 3 years in 1 year. So I got it. I had to argue with them a lot, but I went to school every single night of the week, Saturday mornings, and I got married. And at work, because Sally is still here with me today. So I did extremely well, realized I loved the field of training and development, human resource management, continued to progress, but then something happened. And I said, Sally, we got to move to Toronto because, not that she was from Toronto, she was in Vancouver, but I knew she would love it somehow. And I said all the opportunities would be there. Corporately, she was in marketing, I was in training and development, and I said, I will start to grow my career much better where all the corporate offices are. So, off to Toronto we went. I got great positions, grew up. I was the vice president of human resources for Kohl's bookstores, and then something happened. It got sold. So, I got advice again. And people said, you know what? If you go into the field of consulting, we'll hire you, we'll use you because we're certain that you could do it. And I thought, why not? Our second child was just born. We had just bought a new house. Why not take the risk? So I did. So people were good. I got some work in the very beginning and so on and did well focusing because people said, you've got to focus just on 1 and 2 key areas. So leadership, change management, strategic planning, and only in the fields of financial institutions and retail, because that's all that I knew. Except after a couple of years, I was approached, and something incredible happened. A large chemical manufacturing company said, we've hired a big consulting firm, and they helped us through a quality management system. But you know what? In the past 3 years, the amount of money that we saved was equal to the amount of money we spent. We got to do something different. I said, thank you very much, and I feel really honored, but I don't know a lot about quality. They said, don't worry about it. We will train you. We'll pay for all the courses. I said, really? Okay. So I learned all about cost of quality, statistical process control, quality function deployment, lean manufacturing, I mean everything. And in a year, I had that place totally turned around and they'd save more money than in total over the past 3 years. So all of a sudden now, I focused on change management, leadership, strategic planning, and quality. Joined the American Society for Quality, started to give presentations to various conferences, writing articles. I was doing great and feeling really happy. And then something happened. I was approached by Bell Canada. They had a large IT project. They said, if we can't turn that thing around in 30 days, then we have to cancel it, and it's costing us millions. And I said, that's really wonderful, but I don't know anything about project management, and quite honestly, talk about boring? There's no way. So they said, but we've heard so much about the kind of stuff you did with other organizations and learning things you never knew before, and you did great, and we think you could make a difference. I said, all right. So there, back to school I went again, and learned all about project management and realized, gee, if I combine my leadership, my team development, the quality, and everything else, I think I could make a difference. So I went in there, tried what I thought would be very different than everything they'd ever tried before, had that thing turned around in 30 days, highly successful. So all of a sudden now, change management, leadership, strategic planning, quality management, and now project management in a whole variety of different sectors, very different than what people kept telling me that I should focus on. I became a certified management consultant, certified speaking professionals, continued to present at various conferences, writing articles, and so on. And then the American Society of Equality said, you're doing great work with us. We have decided we want to start in the area of innovation, and we think you would be perfect. Okay. Back to school, more research, more reading, everything else, and all of a sudden, I did innovation and had like amazing successes, and became a specialist in the field of innovation in addition to leadership, change management, strategic planning, project management, quality management. And people said, how can you do all of that? And I said, because I saw the linkages. I was given advice, stay true to just one or two sectors, one or two areas. And it's because I expanded. I believe that that became my success. And so many people through all the various recessions and everything else started to suffer. It made no difference to me because I had done that. Started to travel around the world, great opportunities there. I became a certified Scrum Master because I feel changes in the field of project management, Agile is becoming so important. So conventional wisdom, it's not really so wise after all. Because I suddenly realized that it was expanding, continuously learning, getting certifications, always exploring, doing research, networking with people. Not just joining associations, but giving back, volunteering in so many different associations and mentoring others, helping. I'm always giving so much free advice. I always say to people, contact me. Advice is free, and they hesitate until they suddenly do it because they reached a crisis or a real problem, and they call me, what do I do? And I give them free advice, and they think, oh my God. I said, yes, because I'm not an accountant. This is one thing I never learned. So, that's true. So go forth, continuously learn, expand. Advice is just that. That's all it is. And it's only based on their limited view of the world. Expand your knowledge. It is just so amazing and wonderful. And look at the linkages, not the independence between all of these things. Get your certifications, learn, have fun, but share the knowledge. That's the most amazing thing. Thank you.